back to another weekly Monday live. I feel like I always say something different each time, but yeah, welcome back to another weekly Monday live. I'm AK. If you are new here, every Monday I like to go live and talk about game news, and I love to chat with you guys. So if there's anything that you guys have an opinion about or like, dislike, feel free to leave it in the chat or in the comments below if you're watching this later. As long as they're respectful, I love to have conversations with you guys and stuff like that. We do have a good amount of news today. Some lighthearted stuff, some more closures, unfortunately, and stuff like that. So, yeah, what games are you guys playing this week? I am still playing Claire Obscure Exhibition 33. I probably would have been finished with it by now, but honestly, I'm kind of dragging it out. Trying to get to... I don't know if I want to 100% the game, but I'm kind of trying to just do as much as I can, because once I finish the story, it's kind of hard for me to come back to it. So I'm kind of at a point right now where it's like I know it's the end, so I'm trying to do like all the side missions before I finish the actual game. So yeah, I'm kind of delaying it, but I'm really gonna try and finish it this week. Especially because I'm playing it on Xbox Game Pass, and if you guys know anything about, like streaming sites or like PlayStation Plus or like Xbox Game Pass, they could pull games at like any moment. That happened with me when I first played Red Dead Redemption 2. I was loving the game, and I swear I was like maybe 75%, 80% done with the game, and they pulled it off PlayStation Plus, and I'm like, well, now I gotta buy it, I guess. So I'm trying to do that before they decide to pull it, because they've done that before, and that game is gaining more popularity. So I'm trying to finish it before this week. So yeah. Hi Solomon, welcome back, I should say. So yeah, let's get right to the news. The first thing I wanted to talk about is actually just a little like lighthearted thing. I think it's kind of funny. So it's actually like a fun fact that Nintendo came out with, and if you guys have heard of it, definitely let me know. But apparently, for anybody who thought that Mario and Peach was in a relationship, I guess Nintendo officially confirmed that they're not, which is really hilarious. So Nintendo confirms Mario and Peach's relationship. They're just good friends. So basically, they just put out on the Nintendo app today, like this little statement that Princess Peach and Mario are good friends and help each other out whenever they can. So I just thought that was really funny for all of you who did think that. I don't think I ever really thought that they were in a relationship. Mario kind of always gave me thirsty vibes, which is funny. Like, he's always kind of simping for Peach. And Peach always has kind of made it seem like she put Mario in the friend zone. So I just thought that was a little funny, like, tidbit. I also saw some people say, like, there's a reason she keeps going to Bowser's house. Like, she's just trying to, like, get away. It's not even an accident at this point. But yeah, I just found that a little funny, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So let's get on to some real news now. Oh yeah, so another new thing that's coming out that I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit. I thought this was kind of interesting. So The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 scripts are releasing in hardcover books, now available for pre-order. So I kind of wanted to see a little bit about this. $63 is kind of crazy, or $66, I should say. The Last of Us fans have a sweet little holiday treat heading their way. The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 scripts is a hardcover book featuring the scripts from both games. Written by Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross. It's currently listed for 63, oh my gosh, why do I keep saying 63? 66.63, a nice little 5% discount off its usual list price of $69.99. I didn't even know this was a thing, so it almost seems like, no, I think it just came out. And it will be officially released on December 16th this year here at Amazon. If you're a mega fan of the game who's looking to have these stories in your library, it's worth getting your pre-order in now in case it sells out. This book's cover features a sleek black design with the little title, with the title and the author's names in gold and games cordyceps fungus spread across the cover in white. Alongside both scripts for Port 1 and Port 2, you'll also get the first game's DLC Left Behind to read as well. Some more features of this hardcover release include art gallery with Naughty Dog's principal character concept artist Hyung Nam, a buckram textured cover, block printing along the page's edges that evokes the franchise iconic cordyceps fungus. So I think this is like a really unique gift for people who are like do like the Last of Us franchise. Also, for people who like to read, maybe if they didn't play the game and they didn't watch the show, okay, read the book. I've just never seen anything like this, so I thought it was very interesting for people to try out. I don't know if this is something that I'd buy, but it's definitely something that I would look at if I was in like a bookstore or something, because it's very interesting just to see this. I've never seen it before. All right. Okay, so this next thing is something that I kind of wanted to talk about last week, but I didn't get the opportunity to, and that is 007 First Light devs reveal how Hitman was influenced by the game. So, if you're new here, I am very like interested in Hitman. I really like the Hitman series and stuff like that. So when I saw that this new James Bond game, 007 First Light, was coming out by the same people that made Hitman, IO Interactive, I was pretty interested because it makes sense. Hitman is a stealth game. You have all these different missions to go on and stuff like that. And I can see how that ties into something like James Bond, right? So I was really curious to see how many similarities and stuff it would be between the two games. So here we have this article, and we're going to see what similarities are between the two, if there are any, how many, stuff like that. So 007 First Light developers have revealed how Hitman's DNA will be incorporated and how they'll be developing brand new systems for the game. 007 First Light was revealed during Sony's State of Play, even last month, bringing players a brand new story in the James Bond universe. Developed by creators of Hitman, IO Interactive, the title is set to receive a brand new gameplay trailer this summer. Ahead of that, they have revealed some fresh details for 007 First Light. 007 First Light will feature a blend of open moments and linear scenarios. During an interview with VGC, IO Interactive franchise director Jonathan LaSalle, don't know if I pronounced that right, discussed how Hitman will influence 007 First Light, but the game will be distinctly different. LaSalle states that when players think of Hitman, they imagine a very open space where you need to be more methodical and patient. Definitely, I can see that with Hitman, because I've said this before, it's not a run and gun game. It's very much like you have to think about your next move. You have to think about what you're going to do next. Some people don't really play it that way, but that's my way of playing. I love the games where you have to think about your next move and not just run to the next objective or run and gun your way to the next part of the game. At the same time, 007 First Light James Bond is a young character who can be somewhat reckless and lacks sufficient patience. So, and I've seen that in the trailer too. In the 007 trailer, there is some run and gun aspects, and I don't know if that's just kind of to show off what the game can do, or that's actually going to be part of the game. I assume it's going to be part of the game because I've seen, like, in James Bond's movies and other forms of media from James Bond, there are some more run and gun type situations. LaSalle elaborates that if Hitman is about being more methodical, 007 First Light is about making you think fast under pressure. So that definitely sounds like it's going to be more run and gun, like think quick, you know? The developers will provide players a sense of forward momentum, where they will often find themselves thinking about options like going right or left, defeating all guards, or letting them live. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that's going to play a big part in the game at all. Does the situation need you to blow your cover, and more? So it looks like it's gonna also be like disguises and stuff or some kind of cover situation. The game will feature a blend of open moments and linear moments. When the developers are taking us through the narrative, they will kind of drive the player through it. When it makes sense to open up, they will do so as well. The developers also want to incorporate some very big stunts and cinematic moments, so they will have to go a bit more linear in that way. So, 007 First Light will feature replayability like Hitman. LaSalle explains that 007 First Light will feature replayability as is in the DNA of the studio. And that's something that I really liked about Hitman. I still go back to like the first Hitman that the studio made, and I replay it all the time. They always come out with like DLCs and stuff like that. I think they came out with something that kind of incorporates all the games and kind of just builds off of that. And so it's always good to go back to it every once in a while. But it will never be done in a different way. Players will also have the option to tackle a mission, allowing them to revisit specific scenarios with new approaches and strategies. For example, picking the guard you need to track could open up different routes. Additionally, there may be multiple ways to access a single room. 007 First Light devs mentioned passive and offensive gadgets. The IO Interactive franchise director touched on the gadgets we can expect in 007 First Light. Players will receive a wide variety of gadgets from TLOU, which can be used in passive or offensive ways. Passive ways including unlocking a door, hidden cameras, or eavesdropping in conversations. And Hitman kind of did have some gadgets that were similar, just like, assist in the mission and stuff like that. Regarding offense, it's how players use these gadgets in combat, sustainability such as destroying an extinguisher to create a smoke screen. More details will be revealed through 007 First Light's gameplay reveal trailer, which I'm really excited to see. IO Interactive has built new systems from scratch. LaSalle stated that they are both benefiting from everything they have done in the past with Hitman, but many new features and systems are built from 007 First Light from scratch. The franchise director explained that James Bond is very different from Agent 47 in terms of gameplay and the fantasy, and what we want to tell you with the characters, which is why these new systems have been built. For example, none of the previous Hitman games had driving, but 007 does. So they had to build that system from scratch. The same goes for shooting. As shooting in Hitman means failing a mission, yeah, they had to develop the system again for James Bond. Similarly, these new systems were designed for taking cover, using gadgets, and more. It's really interesting to see that they are using some of the same mechanics and systems from Hitman. I don't know if you guys know this, but there was like a whole thing with The Last of Us, and I know we just talked about The Last of Us, but with The Last of Us, they were using a lot of the same assets from the Uncharted series. Like, there's a lot of pictures showcasing like stuff that was used in The Last of Us, like side by side stuff that was used in The Last of Us and the stuff that was used in Uncharted, and they look the exact same. Like, I think one of them was the sky mechanics, and then there was like a couple other things, but it's really interesting if you wanted to take a look at it. 007 First Light Galicier engine, I know I butchered that, makes it easy to port to the Switch 2. Oh my gosh, so yeah, they're already talking about putting it on the Switch 2, which is interesting. I don't think Hitman is on the Switch, or is it? Wait, maybe it is. Let me look this up. Oh no, it is on the Switch. I didn't know that. So World of Assassin, Hitman 3 is on the Switch. So for any of you who like to use the Switch and want to play that game, there you go. But yeah, so another interesting point that LaSalle covered was 007 First Light Switch 2 port. The franchise director explained that they will have an amazing engine, the Glacier engine, which allows them to bring a game to as many platforms as possible with limited friction. So seems like it would be easy to do. At the same time, IO Interactive thinks the Switch 2 is a powerful device, powerful enough for us to bring First Light to it natively. So very interesting to see the similarities and non-similarities between the two games. Like I said, I was kind of looking for it to be alike in terms of like, okay, you have to think about what you're gonna do next. It's not just gonna be just another shooter game, because I feel like there's a lot of games like that where you just don't really think about it. You kind of just go through the story, kill the bad guys, shoot the bad guys. Sometimes there is stuff involved, but it's still fairly linear. Like the last game I can remember playing that came out recently was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That game, it did have some stealth mechanics to it and stuff like that, but it wasn't like very difficult. You didn't really have to think much. Like you just follow the story. So I don't know. I guess we'll see more when they come out with the gameplay trailer. I'm really excited to see that. Yeah. Hey Tay, welcome in. Welcome back, I should say. Why when I said that, my Siri went off. No, I don't want you. Okay. So, that's that. Like I said, really excited to see where that goes. I guess they said that it was supposed to be coming, or a gameplay trailer is supposed to be coming sometime in the summer, and sometime summer is already halfway over, so hopefully we'll be getting that soon, right? All right. To our next piece of news. Okay, I want to know if anybody has been playing much Assassin's Creed Shadows, because that game kind of came and went. I'm going to be honest with y'all, I never finished it. I probably will go back to it, though, after I finish Exhibition 33. But like I said, I'm kind of stalling with that game right now because I don't want it to end. But after I finish Exhibition 33, I probably will go back to Assassin's Creed Shadows, because I don't think it's a bad game. I just feel like I've had trouble like connecting with it, if that makes sense. Like it's nothing that's like drawing me to play it, because I don't know, there's been so many Assassin's Creed games, and I know there's a lot of people who really like go hard for Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, but for some reason, just like, I don't know, like I don't want to say I don't like the game. I think it's a good game. I just think it's nothing that's pulling me back into it. But they just kind of released like an update, or I guess they call it summer roadmap, of all the stuff that's going to be coming with that game, and they are also dropping a new DLC. So I thought we could watch that. It's only like 4 minutes or so we could see what's going on with them.
Hi, Assassins. Simon here with a brand new post-launch update for Assassin's Creed Shadows.
And I'm Dan, community developer. We're back with another juicy update to get you up to speed on everything coming to Assassin's Creed Shadows during the summer.
Okay, so it's been a very busy springtime around the office. First, we had our special collaboration with Dead by Daylight and the addition of Critical Role's Rufino as an ally for your house.
The Dead by Daylight collab was interesting. The story's interesting. I think it's just like stories that I've seen before, so like it's not like something really compelling. Like I know I keep going back to Exhibition 33, but basically like with the story with Exhibition 33, like this is something like super unique. Like I've never seen a story like this before, and I don't know if you guys have ever played Exhibition 33, but I think just the story like of, how do I explain this? The story of getting revenge on somebody that's like killed your family is just kind of overdone to me, I guess. Not saying that it's not a good story. It's just something that I feel like I've seen before, if that makes sense. Like it's something that's kind of done already and stuff like that. Yeah, the revenge plot. Like, it's just something that, like, I've seen before, you know? Even in, like, The Last of Us 2, like, it's pretty much a revenge story. I won't go too much into it for people who haven't played The Last of Us 2, but I feel like it's just the same story told in a different way. So it's not that it's a bad story. It's just something that it's not continuing to pique my interest because I've already seen it done so many times, you know?
Hideout. Plus, we've added a ton of requested mechanic with our first parkour update, new HUD customization settings, The
And the
option
game
of
looks
wearing
beautiful.
headgear in
It's a good
cutscenes,
game. It's just
a few photo mode upgrades, and of course
don't know.
our brand new Nightmare difficulty setting.
Here's
And I
a
like
look
the
at some
combat.
winners of our recent photo mode contest from our official Discord server.
I
But
posted
enough
like
about the past.
I keep pausing this, but I posted actually. I think it was last week. I was talking about how I used to do photo mode, and I stopped. But I did post photo mode for the first day Assassin's Creed Shadows came out because the game is stunning. I will give it that. It's a stunning game. I actually did post some photos with that.
Dan, we're here to talk about the future. Now summer's here, obviously, and here's what you can expect in the next couple of months.
3 words: New Game Plus. You've asked for it, and now we're ready to deliver.
So, New Game Plus will be available to you as soon as you complete the last story mission and the credits have rolled. Opting in will reset your story progression, your objective board progression, as well as your discovered location. But don't worry, your character level, your required gear, your knowledge rank, as well as your precious hideout progression will remain untouched. When launching New Game Plus, you can either start from the very beginning, reliving the events of the Tencho War in Iga, or you can skip right over the prologue to the moment where Naoe inherits the hideout from Tomiko. Either way, we made sure that none of the basic tutorials will bother you on your second playthrough.
We're
Super cool. No, yeah, and 100%. I still recommend playing it because it's still a really good game. Like, I don't think. Like, I'm not saying this to discourage anybody from playing it because I'm still gonna play it myself. I just haven't been like drawn to like keep going back, but I'm still gonna play it. I think I just saw something that was shinier, if that makes sense, and I like just went to it. But I'm definitely gonna come back to it because I don't know. It's still like something I want to play. It's just I haven't gone back since like maybe April because I started playing other games. But I'm not gonna have anything to play after Exhibition 33, so I'll probably just go right back to that.
increasing the level cap from 60 to 80 for all players and introducing brand new knowledge ranks, new mastery and knowledge skill ranks, and new upgrades for all hideout buildings, including 2 new upgrades for Heiji's Forge.
New Game Plus is also the perfect opportunity to switch between Naoe and Yasuke and experience things differently than however it went on your first playthrough.
I still think
And
that's a
if
cool
you manage
aspect
to
too.
beat New Game Plus once again, we'll have a bunch of
switching.
rewards that are unique to you and gives you a ton of bragging rights.
July is also when you can expect Project 3 to appear. There will be new resources, data files, and exclusive Animus-themed rewards for you to collect. Remember, if you're still working on the first 2 projects, you can either finish them up or swap to the new project. There's no time pressure. Join us on Reddit later this summer for our next AMA with members of the Assassin's Creed Shadows development team. It will be the
Reddit?
perfect place to ask your questions and learn more about what we're cooking.
And
That's
lastly, we're going to
interesting.
be adding a bunch of highly requested features, such as the ability to unfog the map by completing every single viewpoint per region, and last but not least, the ability to fast forward time of day. I know. Some of us designers were quite resistant to give it to you guys, myself included, but we've heard you, and now we're giving it to you. You guys win on this one.
It's good
So
they're
you
listening
wanna
to
announce
people.
the date for Claws of Awaji? Yeah, I think we have footage for that, right?
Outlander!
That showed us nothing.
That's right. Mark your calendars, folks. Claws of Awaji will be available on September 16th, and it's going to be free for all of you who've pre-ordered the game.
That's it for our summer plans. New Game Plus is coming July 29th, our AMA will happen in August, and the Claws of Awaji will release on September 16th. And if you haven't already, join our official Discord server
That's
and
kinda
share
far
your
away.
wildest wishes for future content in Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Looks like a month
Happy
and a half.
hunting, Assassins.
Dang.
What's up, Dan?
I feel like that DLC, at least the preview of the DLC, didn't really show much, huh? But it's cool that it's free, but it's only free if you pre-ordered the game. So I think I'll get it. I don't know if I technically am considered pre-ordering it. I don't know because I got it from Ubisoft, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get it. Maybe I won't. I guess it'll be a surprise to all of us. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it didn't really show us much, so I guess I don't have much to say about it. But cool, I guess. That should have been there anyway. Yeah, no, I agree. At least they listen only for pre-orders is crazy. Yeah, I kind of found that funny. It's good that Ubisoft is listening though, because they are kind of on the decline a little bit. So I think they should be taking any help they can get, whether that's from the players, well, really just the players, because even when it comes to other game companies, it's kind of hard to say yay or nay if you should be listening to them or not, because half of them are shutting down nowadays anyway. So I think this will be their best bet, listening to the players. Right. Yeah, that's the funny thing about Rockstar, though, is like, I feel like they don't listen to the players, but sometimes, somehow, they always end up on top. Who knows how that works, right? But hey, that crazy work. All I can say is it's crazy work. All right. So, on to some more Ubisoft news, or I guess you could say Ubisoft fails. I don't know if anybody has played Star Wars Outlaws. I might have talked about it before. It ended up getting really bad reception for numerous reasons. Basically, like, it had some bugs. A lot of people thought the main character, this girly here, was ugly, which is a crazy reason to not like a game, but I feel like nowadays people kind of just, like, find any reason to not play a game, because I don't know why. I feel like a lot of people are, like, jump on the bandwagon of, like, this, like, hate culture nowadays, and just find any reason to not like something. But it is kind of crazy for, like, you to not play a game because the character is ugly, but hey, to each their own, I guess. And then a lot of people didn't really like the price because they thought it was a lackluster game that didn't really show much, I guess. I feel like Rockstar's catalog got to their head so much they feel like they don't have to. No, 100%. And it's like, they kind of, how do I say this? I feel like, in a way, like, they do deserve it, because they do have some good games, and they have a right to feel like that. But I feel like they would have even more success if they listened to their audience. But yeah, people are too sensitive now. So Ubisoft canned, the Star Wars Outlaws sequel very, very early. So basically, they brought it up and they're like, nah, we're not doing that. So let's just see what this says really quick. Kind of a short article. In recent Ubisoft news. Oh, and I do want to say this really quick before we start. I feel like Ubisoft is probably in a point to where they're not really trying to take on risky projects, because they're already kind of, I don't know if I want to say in a hot seat, but they're on thin ice. Let's say that. They're kind of on thin ice. So I feel like they're kind of like not trying to take on stuff that's going to put them in more of a hard place or more debt, if that makes sense. So that's probably why they would shut it down really quick. In recent news, the company CEO Yevs Golimot suggested that the reason for Star Wars Outlaws' failure was due to dwindling interest in the brand. That's crazy to say, because I still feel like Star Wars has a pretty big fan base. The comment drew criticism from gamers worldwide, many of whom were quick to point out the performance issues and gaping holes in Outlaws. During the most recent episode of Insider Gaming Weekly podcast, our very own Tom Henderson dropped an exclusive revealing that a sequel to Outlaws was planned but ultimately was scrapped very early as the wind fell out of the sails. Not set in stone, the Star Wars Outlaws was a monumental flop compared to the expectations put in place from Ubisoft. I thought Star Wars Outlaws, though, was already a sequel, because wasn't there Star Wars Jedi Survivor as well? Unless they were specifically trying to make it with, like, the specific girl. I thought Outlaws was already a sequel. In September 2024, exclusively revealed the Star Wars Outlaws had sold just 1 million copies in a month, representing an underwhelming performance for the game. In the most recent episode of the Insider Gaming, Tom Henderson addresses a few tidbits from within Ubisoft, including one that mentioned an Outlaw sequel. In the podcast episode, Henderson explains they also recently canceled Star Wars Outlaws 2. So yeah, I guess it would have been specifically like that girl coming back, because that was planned and in the works. It didn't enter production. As far as I know, it wasn't set in stone. It's hardly surprising that Star Wars Outlaws sequel was canned given the reception to the first game. Yeah, I mean, you would think that they would, before they decided to do a sequel, they would see how the first one played out. The tide fell out of the sales carts quickly as it entered, and there was no lasting impact from the game beyond a few residential patches being deployed to address the game's most critical issues. Very interesting. It kind of just seems like it was in the talks and nobody really did much about it. Yeah, I do think people have been like very sensitive over stuff, and that's why I kind of tuned out. Because back when I used to do, and I still kind of do them sometimes when I do my before you buys, people will literally dislike the video because of a very specific thing in the game. Like, for instance, when I did my before you buy for what's that game called? Why am I blanking on it? South of Midnight. When I did my before you buy for South of Midnight, that was probably one of the most disliked videos on my channel because they didn't like how woke the game was. Nobody's played it yet, right? Nobody's played it, but they just don't like how woke the game was. And I played the whole game. It was a good game. I don't know why people were so mad because they were trying to push an agenda and stuff like that, but people just find like the craziest things to get mad at, and it's like, y'all haven't even played the game. Like, chill out. We still like Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They canceled because people started crying about it. Yeah, it's just kind of sad. I mean, I haven't played Star Wars Outlaws. I've seen some clips, but I do know like all the backlash behind it and stuff like that, and I do think it's still a popular franchise. So honestly, the hate is louder than any positive things. I mean, they did that same thing for Assassin's Creed Shadows as well. Look how much hate Assassin's Creed Shadows got just for it to come out and do really good numbers. It's just kind of crazy. All because of they had a black samurai. It's very sad to see. South of Midnight is the game with the girl, right? That's a good game. Yeah, it's the game with the girl. I think like my point of the video was basically that like people should start like taking more chances, like with South of Midnight. It's a very creative game, and it had like stop motion and stuff like that. I will say, I mean, it's not my favorite game, but it's a good game. Like, it's not the worst game I've played by far. Very good story, very unique combat. I really liked it, and especially like if you just play it on Game Pass or something, you don't even have to like pay for the full game just to try it. Like, I think it was a really good game. I feel like I know why they didn't like it, but I'm not gonna say no. No, yeah. No, never mind. You said it for me with the yeah. That's definitely what it is. I try not to talk too much about that on my channel, but I mean, people said it for me in my comments. That's basically what it is. They think that they didn't like, or for Assassin's Creed Shadows, they didn't like the Black Samurai, and then South of Midnight, they just thought the game was too woke. Possibly has to do with the black female lead. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why else they would think it's woke. Especially if they've never played the game. So, kind of sad. I think, and then with the Star Wars Outlaws thing, I feel like, I don't have it up anymore, but I think they just wanted the lead to be more attractive, which is, again, is a very crazy reason to not like a video game. Very insane. And then I think that's why a lot of people like that one game. What's that game? With the like robot girl that like just came out like last year or something. I forget what that game's called. show me. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I forget what it's called, but it's like that like robot girl. I think she was like Asian or something. But a lot of people were saying people only liked that game because she was thick and had like skimpy clothes on and stuff like that. And I will say, I do think that draws a lot of people in. I don't think it's not a factor, but it's just a crazy reason to make your decision about a game. Because there's so many other things that like, so many other like factors that go into games and stuff like that. I feel like you could make or break your decision on, you know. So just got a crazy, funny thing, definitely with that girl. Yeah. People said the same thing with Mafia 3 when that came out. Yeah, I don't know. Some people are just kind of vain, I guess, but what can you do? You're shocked. Yeah. All right. So let's go to this next piece of news. We still got a good amount to get through, so let me try and get through this. All right. So this one I don't think I'm going to touch on too much, but Ubisoft suffers mixed results as Assassin's Creed Shadows hits 5 million players while Rainbow Six Siege X struggles. So I don't even know if well, I guess it's short. I guess I could read it because I was going to kind of just use it as a talking point. But Ubisoft has announced lower than expected results for its latest financial quarter and blamed the newly relaunched Rainbow Six Siege X. If any of you guys are Siege fans, let me know. I'm very off and on with it. Like, I have points where I play it a lot, and then I have points where I just don't play it at all. And if you know anything about Rainbow Six Siege, it's really hard to get back into after you played it, or after you haven't played it for a bit. Assassin's Creed Shadows, meanwhile, has continued to perform in line with expectations and recently passed 5 million unique players, which is pretty good. Ubisoft has to date not provided, and that's a weird sentence, an exact sales figure for the game, which is also offered as part of Ubisoft Plus subscription service. Does anybody use Ubisoft Plus? I have never ever heard people use Ubisoft Plus. So if you do, let me know. In a statement, Ubisoft boss Yves Guillemot described the quarter as featuring mixed results. So what went wrong? Ubisoft has pinned the blame on temporarily but significant disruptions in player spending with Rainbow Six Siege X, its newly relaunched shooter that it describes as having faced technical pricing issues. What does that mean? Launched on June 10th, Rainbow Six Siege X saw Ubisoft's veteran team shooter essentially go to free-to-play with access to various modes and operators unlockable without the need for a premium edition. Separate to this, Ubisoft said it has suffered from pricing exploits with prepaid currency cards that temporarily inflated virtual currency wallets. Okay. Something that has now been fixed. Today's new player figure for Assassin's Creed Shadows, meanwhile, sees the game continue to do what Ubisoft needs it to do, which is good. As players wait for Claws of Awaji, the game's first big expansion, due at some point this fall. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna read the rest of this, but it's very interesting that they're releasing like an update for Assassin's Creed, and it's interesting to see that there is outperforming Rainbow Six Siege, because Rainbow Six Siege has kind of been like their moneymaker for a long time. But also, you also have to think about how long that game has like been out, right? So I imagine it's hard to bring new people in because it's such a learning curve, and also to spark the other people's like interest that had played it a long time ago. I imagine it's hard to do. I mean, you know, they put out this big update for Rainbow and they're like, okay, we'll come back to the game, but a lot of people are kind of either tired of it or just like they don't care as much. So I don't know. And I don't know necessarily what they mean by pricing exploit, or no, is it that way? No, technical pricing issues. What does that mean? What does technical pricing issues mean? Maybe it's just something that like was priced wrong within the game. I don't know. 5 million players had jokes on everybody that hated it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. All for one thing. They all hated it for one thing that had nothing really to do with the game itself. We faced technical pricing issues. We didn't make the money we wanted to make. Yeah, it's a funny way of putting it, isn't it? That's crazy. Anyways, okay, let's go. I didn't want to touch on that though, but I don't know. I always say I'm just a lover of games, right? And I don't want to see Ubisoft fail because of their catalog that they have had previously. I want them to win. I want to see them win. I want to see them come out with more games and stuff like that. So we'll see, right? We'll see how it goes. All right. So now I want to talk a little bit more about just PlayStation themselves, because I feel like we haven't been really seeing a lot of PlayStation news recently. Besides, like obviously the games that they're putting out, like Ghost of Yote, and stuff like that. We haven't really seen too much like PlayStation hardware news. So I was very interested, or intrigued when I saw this pop up on the news. So Sony wants to bring PlayStation games beyond PlayStation hardware, including Xbox. Now, I feel like we've kind of heard this before, so I'm interested to see what they're going to say about this. Did I see what they posted today? I don't think so. Do you mean PlayStation? I don't think so. Well, I haven't really seen anything anybody's posted today. I don't think so. Sony is hiring for a new position that will help expand PlayStation's reach beyond PlayStation hardware. According to a job posting, Sony is working to bring PlayStation games to platforms such as Steam, which is already... PlayStation stuff is already on there. Epic Games Store, Nintendo Mobile, and yes, even Xbox. It's funny how they even list like Nintendo and they're like, yes, and Xbox, but I feel like Nintendo is even more shocking than Xbox, which is funny. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to say. So the new role is Senior Director of Multi-Platform and Account Management and will report directly to Sony's Vice President. Sony says the Senior Director will play a critical leadership role in shaping and executing the global commercial strategy for PlayStation Studio software titles across all digital platforms beyond PlayStation hardware, including Steam, Epic Games Store, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile. The overview continues. This role is accountable for optimizing title profitability, ensuring cross-functional alignment, and leading a high-performing team focused on multi-platform expansion, mid-range commercial planning, and platform partner management. As far as the responsibilities for the job, Sony says that this person will oversee the out-of-year mid-range commercial strategy for PlayStation Studio titles across all non-PlayStation platforms, driving long-term revenue growth and audience reach. I think that's very important for PlayStation to do. I do think that they should be branching out a little bit more, but that's also kind of what made PlayStation special, is like, okay, you get this PlayStation, it really runs best on this system, and this is like the only place you could play it. I think that's why I was so gung-ho about PlayStation for the longest time, and I kind of still am, but like the games run beautifully. I feel like I rarely have issues on it, and it's always just like kind of the exclusivity of it. That's not, sorry, they posted a new joystick on Twitter they're dropping. Oh, okay, maybe I could look into that if we have time. Okay. Whoever takes on this new role will also lead the team manager and directors involved in multi-platform strategy, sales, platform planning, and Xbox and PC. Sony's further expansion into releasing its first-party games shouldn't be a surprise after the company announced that it's bringing Helldivers 2 to Xbox in August. And Helldivers was pretty popular, so I think it probably works better for these like live service games, and like multiplayer games. I think it works better for it to be on multiple platforms, so more people can play it and probably make more money from it, honestly. As for whether the older titles like God of War or The Last of Us eventually make their way to Microsoft's consoles, that's something that fans will have to wait and see on. I doubt it. I can definitely see it for these multiplayer games, though. On the flip side, Xbox has continued to bring its games like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Gears of War, and Forza Horizon 5 to PlayStation 5. Speaking of Forza Horizon 5, okay, yeah, we don't need to. I feel like it makes sense for Xbox more than PlayStation, only because Xbox has already like dove so far into spreading their games. They're not so focused on hardware anymore, so it makes more sense for Xbox. PlayStation, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say they're declining. I really don't, but it just seems like the PS5 has gone very stagnant. So maybe that's why they're trying to like see where like else they can make their money and stuff like that. So that's what I think. I don't know. But very interesting to see. Would you guys be interested in playing X or PlayStation games on different consoles? Maybe. Well, I don't know, because I would say maybe the Switch, and only because I would be able to like take it other places. But I'm just scared it would run super terribly on the Switch. Like any games on the PlayStation, I feel like it runs so bad on the Switch. Like maybe the Switch 2 would be better, but I don't know. I feel like that'd be my only concern. And then some more like quick PlayStation news. PlayStation is exploring a power saver mode for games on the PS5. So let's see here. The PS5 new update beta announced mention a power saver for games, which enables supported games to run with lower power consumption. The latest beta update for PS5 also introduces a brand new feature for the DualSense and DualSense Edge wireless controller, allowing for pairing with multiple devices. The other new feature discussed will contribute to Sony Interactive Entertainment environmental efforts by reducing power consumption for certain PS5 games. That's interesting. I wonder how that works. PS5 power saver games will scale back performance. As revealed in the new PlayStation blog post, once this feature is released, players will find a new option called Power Saver in the PS5 settings menu. With this feature, the console will be able to scale back performance for supporting games, reducing power consumption. When the feature is disabled on the game doesn't support the feature, performance will not be scaled back and power consumption will not be reduced either. Moreover, while Power Saver is active, VR mode will be unavailable and certain gameplay features will be limited. Additional details about PS5 Power Saver feature will be revealed closer to launch, including supported games and the estimated impact on the feature. The Power Saver comes in as part of Sony's Road to Zero environment. That's a funny name. Sony's Road to Zero environmental plan, which aims to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2040. Don't know much about that. I'm not gonna act like I do, but interesting for people who are interested in that kind of stuff, you know. If you like to save power and whatnot, that'll be the thing for you. No, to be honest, I'm good. I don't want them to turn to the Xbox. That's crazy. If I will ever do the same on PlayStation. Now I get it, because I mean, usually games are made for a very specific console, and that's usually what they run best on, right? So I kind of agree. Here, let me see if I can find that joystick you were talking about really quick. Let me go here. If I can't find it right away, I might get it in a second. Do you mean the fight stick? They released a name for it. I know they kind of mentioned it before, but I guess now they have a name for it. The Flex Strike. Very interesting. And I guess now it has a carrying case. It seems like the people in the comments are like, oh, this is so unnecessary. I feel like it's good for people who like use or play a lot of the fighting games. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think when they announced it, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm wondering how much it'll be though. I don't know if they released the price for it yet. But I feel like I'd get it as like a collector's thing. Like if I had some extra money, I'd buy it. Okay. So I kind of also want to talk a little bit about Xbox since we talked a little bit about PlayStation. So basically, Xbox update adds cross-device play history for insiders. So basically, I'll probably just read this like second paragraph because it's not really too much. It's like an upgraded stick from the OG PlayStation. Yeah, I do think it looks really sleek. I think it looks nice. So Xbox insiders now have access to cross-device play history and a new filter on the PC app. With new update, it doesn't matter whether you're on console, PC, or Windows. Handheld Xbox insiders will find their play history at the end of the jump back in list on the home screen. The large title will still display the game. Oh my gosh. The large title will still display the last game played by the current device's users. Whereas the new play history title will show games played across any Xbox device, allowing players to quickly jump back in. So that's kind of cool. I kind of feel like, I don't know how necessary it is though, just because like, at least for me, I had the Game Pass Unlimited. I could just like play the game on my PC, right? And then I could play it on like my laptop. And if I just click the same game, it kind of already just goes back to where I was. So I don't know if this is maybe just more seamless. But hey, new update. New update. All right. So the last little thing I want to talk about is kind of jumping the gun. Basically, supermassive games. One thing about me is I'm a pretty big fan of supermassive games. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before on my live. They make games like the Corey Until Dawn, which is really big. They just came out with a movie. They've made a lot of games. Man of Medan. What's that one game that's also really good? I can't really think of it, but they've made so many games, horror games specifically, and it seems like they're kind of in a tight space right now, which kind of sucks. They basically put out a statement that they have had to lay off a few people, well, more than a few, a good amount. So this is the statement that they have come out with. The games industry remains as a challenging and ever-evolving environment as we adapt our team structure to better align with these challenges. We've had to make the very difficult decision to begin a redundancy consolation process where we anticipate losing up to 36 of our colleagues. Imagine they put out this statement. I'm assuming, yeah, because they said they're in the process. I'm assuming they haven't laid the people off. But imagine like working there and then you see them put out this statement. Like I'd be so stressed. Just 36 is a good amount. This decision was not taken lightly, and we know this will be an incredibly difficult time for everyone. Our absolute priority will be to offer full support to all those affected. We remain focused on our upcoming projects and have made the decision to move the launch of Directive 8020 to the first half of 2026. The response to this game so far has been fantastic, and the additional time will help us deliver the very best experience for our fans. We're deeply grateful for the patience and support of our community. There is no impact on the development of Little Nightmares 3. So a couple things. For one, I know this is probably bad, but I did not know. It makes sense now thinking about it, but I did not know they made Little Nightmares, which makes sense because it is very eerie and they're known for like their kind of eerie games. So it's good that they're still on track for Little Nightmares 3. I'm pretty sure that's coming out fairly soon. I don't know the exact date, but it is coming out fairly soon. And then I didn't even know that they were coming out with a new game. I thought we could look at the trailer really quick because, like I said, I'm very interested in the games that they do make. So kind of sad to see that they're kind of stumbling a little bit. I think they are also really big on PlayStation. So I don't know, maybe they kind of go hand in hand. But Yeah, let's see what this new game is about because I'm very interested. It's kind of a short trailer. Because I've never seen them release this. I don't think they talked about it in the state of play at all. Maybe after I watch it, it'll ring a bell.
Status report.
Looks like it penetrated through there. We need to inspect the hull damage first.
Doesn't look too bad.
Doesn't look too good either.
What is that? You feeling all right?
My body's going one way and my mind's going another.
What is that? This ship is infected with an alien organism. It still doesn't feel real sometimes.
Never forget why you started.
Lord have mercy.
This reminds me of another
Do you think
game.
Williams knows more about this substance than he's letting on? We can't take any chances with him.
It can manipulate its physical appearance. It's changing its cellular structure. It's replicating the human form. It's replacing us.
I know this will be difficult to hear, but if you're still out there, you deserve the truth.
This looks literally just like, I'm trying to figure out the name. I keep blanking on the names. But there is a game that came out with Roger Clark and Neil Druckmann. On PlayStation. I cannot think of what game it is, but it looks just like it. Basically, like they go to space and they're like kind of like trapped in this, like, I don't even know what you call it. No, not Resident Evil. It was like a one-off game. Yeah, because they were like trapped in space. I cannot think of what it's called. It's so annoying. I know I made a video of it. Wait, let me see. Because now I'm going to be so mad if I can't think of it. But I'm pretty sure this game will be super good just because of who makes it. And usually they make a lot of games where like your choice matters, where you get to decide like your fate or whatever. I'm sure that'll be the case. What is this game called? Of course I'm not gonna be able to find it. Okay. Wait. Before you buy. Okay, yeah, I don't know where it is. I don't know what it was called, but I know it was like a shorter game. Watch me think of it later, and I'll be like, I'm pretty sure I showed it before. I just, for some reason, it is like completely blanking my mind. Like they just erased everything that that had to do with it. But I know it was with Roger Clark and Neil Druckmann. But I don't know why I cannot think of what the heck that game was called. But it looks a lot like that. That's what it reminds me of. But I'm sure it'll be good. I don't know. I'm sitting here trying to find it. I can't find it. Whatever. But I think it'll be good. It sucks to see though that Supermassive Games is kind of like, kind of taking like a fall a little bit, because they do have some very, very good story games. And like I said, I'm a story girly, so that's probably why I like it so much, you know. But yeah. Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and thank everyone, especially Tay. I know you're here every week. I very much appreciate you coming in and chatting every week, and some people come in and out as well, some regulars. I want to thank all of you who come and watch the stream every week. It means a lot. am continuing to try and grow and stuff like that and make the stream better. And hopefully one day it'll be bigger. We could all have a good time. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will be back next week. And I'll probably post some clips throughout the week as well. But yeah, I hope all of you have a great week, and see you next week. AK out.